Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today I want to talk about a topic that's been bothering me for a while, something I've been mulling over for the last, well, quite a while now. I think CRAFTSMAN was purchased by Stanley Black & Decker back in was it 2017 or 2019? It's been a while. And so this is something that has frustrated me for a very long time, and today's video is not scripted. I'm just kind of doing these are my thoughts and opinion and kind of maybe a little bit of a rant in there, because I do get kind of frustrated with companies doing this kind of disservice to brand name products. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and talk about my thoughts and feelings on this topic. If you do hear some crazy noises, the wind is like going absolutely nuts outside. So if you hear like creaking or wind noises, that's what that is. Before we get into today's topic, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like if you will enjoy this type of content, and also make sure to check us out on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. So like I said earlier, Stanley Black & Decker purchased CRAFTSMAN after the fall of Sears. And since then, it's been essentially a race to the bottom, in my personal opinion. And I hate when this kind of stuff happens. You get something that's a really good, well-known brand name, and they're having financial issues or whatever's going on. Another company buys them, and then they just run them into the ground, straight to the bottom. And I use that term all the time. You'll hear it throughout this video. It's a race to the bottom. Entry level. We want to compete and be competitive in pricing. It's like, you don't need to do that with CRAFTSMAN. It had name recognition. It had diehard followers. Why would you run it all the way down to compete with Husky and Pittsburgh and Cobalt and Stanley, which is another brand that should not be ran all the way down to the bottom as well? Why would you do that? It's already oversaturated. You've got power, torque, and you could list tons of tool manufacturers that are right down there at the bottom, right down there in the entry level stuff. Why would you need to do that? It doesn't make any sense to me. And so, I'm just going to kind of compare this to Harbor Freight a little bit, because Harbor Freight's done a really good job of, here's Pittsburgh, here's Quinn, here's Icon. This is going to be your entry-level stuff. They skip sizes. The wrenches are giant wrenches to make up for the quality, differences. It can't break if it's way thicker than it's supposed to be. And then you've got Quinn, which is just a really good DIY stuff at home. And so their lineup is kind of like, Pittsburgh and Quinn at home, and then a little bit of Quinn and Icon in a professional setting, and that works out really well. In fact, that's what I mostly have here at home is a mixture of Pittsburgh and Quinn, and then Quinn and Icon at work, and so that works out really well. But at Lowe's, you have it seems like everything's like Pittsburgh and Quinn priced items, and there's no tool truck competitor stuff. And when I say tool truck, I don't mean okay, this is 7 times more expensive than it should be. I just mean as in why wouldn't you try to have a higher professional line, and then you'd have, a prosumer line, kind of something in the middle, and then your entry level, your Cobalt and stuff like that. I have a Cobalt set that I bought a while back, and I think they've actually redone this set. It's not quite the same set as I've got now, and I'll show some B-roll footage of it here. And this set is so good that my dad and I think we own 3 sets between the two of us. I got one at home, one at work, and then he's got a set, and then I think my brother's got a set. And again, I think they changed it. It's not as good as the set that I've got now. But that set for around $100, because they used to go on sale Black Friday and Father's Day, and that's when we would pick them up. They end up being 30 cents a socket. So I can't remember if I had lost one or broke something, but a couple years back I had to go into Lowe's and say, hey, I need a new one of these. And they handed me a CRAFTSMAN one. So are you guys, did you upgrade my socket, or are you admitting, basically this is just this Cobalt quality, Cobalt pricing? Because that's not what I would have expected. And for a while there, they were going to phase out their Cobalt line, and I remember thinking, no, don't do that, don't do that. Your Cobalt stuff's really good. That's your entry level. That's your Husky. That's your Pittsburgh. That's your power torque. That's your, this entry level stuff. Why would you want to get rid of that and then take your brand name one, the one with all the name recognition, and shove it down in the bottom and then have them all compete with each other? It's oversaturated, and to me, it would be a huge, and it has been a huge disappointment to see that happen. So if I were to set it up, you walk into Lowe's, if you don't want to have another brand like Stanley be kind of like your prosumer stuff. If you just had like Cobalt and your Craftsman, you'd have your Cobalt entry-level stuff, and then you'd have your Cobalt Pro or something like that. And that's kind of like your Quinn competitor. So yeah, so you've got Cobalt, and then you've got, your CP. Okay, well that one, actually that, probably not a good idea to call it Cobalt Pro, but you know what I mean, something in the middle. So you'd have your prosumer stuff. So, your Cobalt, something in the middle, Stanley, I don't know what it is. And then you've got your Craftsman, and your Craftsman is the one that's gonna go after Matco, Mac, Cornwell, that kind of stuff, Vim, Grip Edge, that kind of price stuff. You don't have to attack Snap-on and go and compete with them. I don't need a wrench set for $700, but a $200 wrench set that is competitive with the trucks. Just come in and just undercut the trucks. So your higher grade, your Craftsman stuff just comes in and just undercuts the trucks. And then when your Craftsman stuff goes on sale, it's more like Icon at their normal pricing kind of thing. And then your middle one, again, whether you do another version of your Cobalt or something in the middle, that would just undercut Icon all the time. And then when that goes on sale, it's more like Quinn prices. And then you've got, again, your Cobalt at the very bottom, and you can just come in and undercut Quinn. So it ends up being competitive, especially when there's sales on. And that to me would be much more of a viable solution. My tools, a lot of the tools that have been handed down to me have been Craftsman. My grandpa used Craftsman. So we're talking 50, 60, 70 years of Craftsman. What's the deal? Why are we not wanting to respect that name? Why are we not wanting to use it? I really think that could have been, the Icon, the Icon's getting all this publicity because they're really good pricing and their tool truck, esque grade of stuff. Why aren't we putting the Craftsman up in that area there? And I do know that they or supposedly share some tools with Mac, I guess. So there is some of that, and that's really good. So I just really feel like that Craftsman has been mismanaged in terms of where in the market that this fits. Where would this make the most sense? Where can we use this name? They spent a ton of money buying that name. Why don't they use that to, make some really nice high-grade tools that are going to last another 50 years? When you buy that wrench set, I could hand it down to my grandkids, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm at there. And I know that when people say tool truck, people get really mad. And most of the time, I'm not buying full price tool truck stuff. I'm pretty against just like spending tons of money on tools for no reason. This car you see here has been built almost exclusively using that little Cobalt set that I've got. There's little to no skips, SAE and metric, 12-point and 6-point. You got 90 tooth ratchets, quarter, 3/8, half inch. Really good little set. So if I can do this with that little set there, what could you do with some really nice Craftsman stuff and have it be competitive in the market? Now, back to the tool truck pricing. So for example, Mac right now, and I don't know when this video is going to be released, but Mac, the Flyer that I got just recently, has a wrench set that's actually cheaper than Harbor Freight right now. And that kind of stuff does happen. If I didn't own these wrenches, if I didn't already own the set of these wrenches, I'd be buying that kit. So the kit was a 6 through 22 and then a 24. So they skipped 23, which kind of sucks, but I don't know if I've ever used my 23 millimeter wrench. So at Harbor Freight, that's your 6 to 19 Icon, which costs around 120 bucks. And then your 20, 21, 22, 23, and then 24, that would be like an $80 set. They give you I believe it's an 8 to 19 ratcheting end wrench, the ones that are straight. Most of the time the straight wrenches don't have a switch on them, but these ones actually have the switch on them. They don't have an Icon version of that, the ratcheting ones, that's Quinn. So you're 120, 80 for the bigger wrenches, then you're $100 for the Quinn. So 300 bucks. Mac right now has that kit that I was just talking about for 260. That's less than Harbor Freight. Now, it's not as cheap as Harbor Freight when everything's on sale, but very rarely do you have all three of those on sale, and very rarely do you find them at the store while they're on sale like that. Those Quinn ones, the straight ratcheting ones, when those go on sale, they're gone. They're really difficult to find. It took me quite a while to buy a set. They go on sale for like 70 or 80 bucks on occasion. That makes a lot of sense. You don't have to spend a ton of money. So when I say tool truck, I don't mean, $1,000 socket set. I mean like a really nice $210 socket set. And so anyways, it's just frustrating to me. I really think that they fumbled that. They could have really have pushed that name recognition and made something of this. The other thing that's I don't think that you could really come back with, I think they probably could if they did a really good job at marketing this, but running Craftsman down to the bottom like they have and then trying to bring it back up to like, oh yeah, it's actually this now, I think would be much more difficult than when they first purchase it and go, you know what, we really like this name, love the logo, love the color red, boom, it's gonna be right here, and it is gonna be prosumer and professional grade tools. So anyways, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Have you used Craftsman? Do you still use Craftsman? Have you been disappointed with what they've been doing recently? And I really do want to know everybody's thoughts and opinions. Is this just me? Am I just overthinking it? Or did they not really set this up the way that they probably should have? So thanks everybody so much for watching, and we'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!